What is up, guys? What I want to share with you today is if you listen to obviously NEPQ, if you listen to spin selling, there's going to be an element of a sales process where you want to be doing a bit of discovery. What have they actually done prior to kind of uh, reaching you into the sales encounter via a phone call? Let's say it was a phone call, right? So the kind of verbiage you would be asking in your question is like, before you started talking with me, were you out there looking for ways to solve your problem? All right. Anyway, I should have already said this. This is quite a bit of a deep dive into like what people, the responses people will give, and what it actually means. Because the reason that this question's in play is for you to root out what objections are coming at the end of the call and just going to blow up and melt your call, all right, or melt your sales engagement, because they're going to tell you something that you didn't really discover. You weren't able to deal with it, and obviously the call unfolds, all right. So there's going to be obviously a binary option: they did or they didn't take any action or search prior to speaking to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the scenarios. So scenario number one is, you guys are the first guys I saw. Okay, so there's two options that this can run off here. Number one is you're going to find out, well, how long have you actually been looking? If they've been in your ecosystem for the last year, is there anything that's preventing you from up until now from hopping on this call? Because that's going to like weed out any procrastination and things like that, or any other sort of things like they weren't ready in their own head, they weren't ready logistically with money and things like that. And that's shit that you need to know, all right? So there's an important distinction there. If they've just literally come hot off an ad, then you can justify that, okay? But if they've just been kind of floating around your ecosystem, there's a question to be asked there. Okay, and no. So what you need to do, if they say no, you need to go heavy into ideal criteria here, because they're going to be kind of quite solution unaware. And what I mean by that is because they know they've got a problem, otherwise they'd probably, unless there's a complete sort of meltdown in your marketing, or the marketing that you, or the business you represent, etc., then as long as a qualified, semi-qualified person is coming on the call, okay, then they should be problem aware. They should realize of a problem. They should realize ballpark that you're at somewhere, at least in the zone of being able to solve it. Okay. So what I mean by that is, like, if they haven't done the research on you and things like that, it's always good to go into like, okay, what criteria are you actually looking for? Because when they start to articulate it to themselves, okay, it gives you the best opportunity then to marry up what they think they need in their own head with the presentation, and also for them to do a little bit of discovery on the call. Okay, so if they're at the tipping point where they kind of know what they want, they kind of want a solution which is in your kind of wheelhouse, then you really need to go dig and say, like, okay, so what do you really need to look at specifically? If you really had to think about it, why is that important? Tell me a little bit more about that. So they're fleshing through the idea themselves, because they're so new. If you're the first guys that they saw, then that could be trouble, because otherwise they're going to think about it. You've got a real strong chance of getting to think about it, right? Okay, so the next one is no. Okay, what prevented you? Financials. Okay, so okay, can you clarify what you mean by that and what's changed now? And then what we really need to do there, guys, is resources versus resourcefulness reframe. Okay, I get it. And I mean, say for example, if it's an ROI generating offer, obviously it's the current circumstances you're in now are just a representation of the kind of vehicle you have for generating revenue, and obviously our current situation has absolutely no bearing on our future outcomes, and it's our resourcefulness, not our resources, that permit us success in life. I'm curious, if there was an opportunity to find a solution out there that could solve XYZ, so you could get more money, would you be prepared to get resourceful rather than lean on your resources, because otherwise nothing will change, right? So what we're doing is we're getting to think from a different mindset. Look, you lose. So what I mean by that is people who are just like perfunctory, yeah, just kind of see what the ad's all about, can see what you guys are all about, completely like detached. They could be just playing it cool because they know they're going to get sold, but often it's a case of like they are fairly solutionary unaware, and this is the same remit. You really need to go into ideal criteria as discussed here. I'm not going to go into it because I've just talked about it, and I love the sound of my own voice, trying to get out of that habit. I need to ask questions like, but why is this so important to you now for fixing? Again, so they tell themselves. Okay, and again, like I said, get them to talk and commit to what they want. And when I say commit, you could say then, so from what I'm hearing from, you need X and Y and Z. Can you think of anything else you may be wanting so that you could solve X, Y, Z problem? Or, okay, so you've given them the opportunity to say no. Okay, so there's another important consideration here. It's stuck in searching. Okay, so if somebody said, like, I'm doing on about 10, 15 calls, can I share a perspective? Like whether we work together or not, it's not really the end of the world for me. I'm just concerned that you hopping onto these 10, 15 calls, maybe like 5 or 10 of those might have been an opportunity, yet you've passed them up. Okay, so would it be impossible to consider that you're in this kind of searching mode, and that there's opportunities there that are being left on the table? What's your thoughts on that? And like, what happens if this, what you kind of been in searching mode for the last 6 months when this problem has been hemorrhaging your business? Like, what's been the cost of that mindset? Like, and what would be the possible ramifications of that mindset continuing for another XYZ time frame? Yeah. So we need to sort of just give them a wee bit of a slap around there with a lucky lose, get them into place. Okay, trust in the marketplace, guys. Like, if you guys kind of sell on Zoom and things like that, there's a lot of industries that have just got, people just, burning people left, right, and center, which is a real shame, but it does happen. You need to get clarity around that. Like, well, what do you mean you got burnt before? Okay, and so I heard a beautiful one the other day. I don't know if I could do it justice here, but it went something along the lines of, like, when you made that, was it the decision that was incorrect, or was it the choice that was incorrect? Okay, so do you want the same choice that burnt you to keep burning you into the future? Because the decision to change was correct. You shouldn't doubt your decision making, right? So I thought that was gold. I haven't done it pure justice, but you can see where I'm going with it. So that mindset rebuttal. So that mindset you have right now that everybody's out to burn you. Do you think that mindset comes from like a successful person who is out there grasping opportunities and getting results, or do you think it's coming from an unsuccessful person who thinks everyone's out there to rob him and stays where he's stuck? Like, what happens if you don't change though, and you don't kind of form like a more robust way of seeing things, and this mindset continues, and you go to another 5, 10, 15 calls, and every opportunity that could have been an opportunity you just pass up because you think you're going to get burned? What happens then? Yeah. So the next one is then know what prevented you from taking action. Time. Okay, what do you mean by that? And what's changed now? Or it wasn't the right time. Okay, so is it the right time now? Okay, so what if they're stuck in this place whereby there's some illusionary belief that there's going to be a right time in the future? I use this reframe. We think we know what's around the corner, but the truth is the future is a manifestation of what we do today, what we prioritize today. If you arrange your life around them, prioritize what they said they wanted, then a month from now, life's demands and other people will get in the way, will get in line. But without that commitment and planning, whatever your life and other people throw at us will be placed dominion over us, and we don't have a strong reason to say no. We need to jump before we're ready, because we will never be ready. It's not the way things work. So what you need to do now in order to roadmap the future, whether you have an opportunity to achieve X, Y, Z. Another simpler one is, we just hit with it. Like, you're never going to feel ready, and the right time to do it is when you don't. Yeah, there will never be a right time. Okay, and the number 32 bus is never going to pull up outside your house and just hand you like the golden meal ticket. All right, so we need to sort of get them out of that mindset which is subtle procrastination, or, like, let's face it, like 80% of the population have it, right? If not more. So out there looking, yes, it did take action, clarify, okay, what happened? What did you actually do? Was it similar? Okay, if it wasn't similar, okay, so basically what we want to do is differentiate, especially if they're saying, oh yeah, I've done this, I've done that, it didn't really work for me. And like the tool for the job reframe, guy on Teams came up with a brilliant one. He said, like, can I share a perspective? I mean, there's two ways of, there's mowing your lawn. There's with a pair of scissors, or there's a sit-on lawn mower. Okay, one of them is going to get the job done quick, smart. The other one is you're going to bust your balls. It's probably going to get you nowhere, and you're probably going to need to redo it by the time you finish, right? So would you agree that, kind of betting small, just spending a couple of bucks or trying to do a YouTube it and all the rest of it probably wasn't the right tool for the job? Okay, get them to make that distinction, because guess what's going to happen? They're just going to slither out the back door, right? Okay, was it similar? Yes. What sort of results did you get? No results, bad results. Like, what held you back from getting results? Okay, it was me. It was a shit show. Okay, has that changed now? And then priority frame again. Okay, so like it was just me. It just wasn't a priority for me right now. Well, like what happens if like you don't push it up the bands, or like life was getting in the way and things like that? Well, like is this a priority for you now? You needed to get them to sit in the saddle. It's never going to be the right time. Yeah. Okay, so they take ownership. Yes. Then we got this one though. Like this isn't like a natural question. Like, oh, I didn't get results with, I don't know, XYZ lead gen. I know a few people who had good results with them. What held you getting back? Held you getting back with those guys? It was a lack of support, info relevance. Well, this is, apologies guys, what held you back from getting results? They pass ownership on to the program or the service or whatever the offer was. What you can do is you can push back and say, I knew a few people who get results with that. What stopped you getting results? Okay, oh yeah, it was me. Like, okay, so are you ready to take a different action in order to get a different result? Because what got you from A to B isn't going to get you from B to C. Okay, like as Einstein said, you can't solve the same problem with the same solution, with the same intelligence that created it. Now, if you're sort of a mindset whereby you're taking on courses and you're not ready to embrace it, like you're willing to do things differently this time. Okay, so kind of what I don't quite remember where I put this here. So heavy and ideal criteria. So yeah, really dial in and understand like what are they actually looking for this time that's going to be different. Okay, so like just get them to really confirm, because you're kind of in muddy waters there about what did work, what didn't work. Well, you let me know like what did work, because the last thing I want for you is to be involved in another sort of endeavor where you haven't got the support mechanism that you need in order to get results, and then go really confirm with them, well, if I could supply X and Y and Z, would that be enough for you? Yes. Why? All right. Okay, so if they got results, okay, which is does happen sometimes. Yeah, I got great results. Okay, so why don't you go back to XYZ? Oh yeah, they were good, but okay, so like there's holes in there, right? So they say, they didn't have XYZ. Okay, so it sounds like X is important to you then. All right, so basically, like they've kind of like sunk the ship on that and said, look, actually it wasn't that good. But then it's like if there's no real holes in the previous way of doing things, well, it sounds like things are going fairly well. Is there anything you would change about that offer in the future if you could? Because don't forget, they wouldn't be on that call, on the call with you if they could just sort of reach open to the phone and get the opportunity to do business with the guys that worked so well with them in the past. All right, guys. So there's a lot of work there. Take time to study it, because what this is going to do is going to allow you to sort of go deep and understand when people, because I hear a lot of calls where people just say, did you what before speaking with me today, were you out there looking for ways? Yeah. Okay, what did you do? Or no. Okay, what prevented you? Oh, I don't know, it just wasn't the right time. Okay, not a problem, and then just move on. Like what you're doing is you're leaving a whole horrible little catacomb of disaster here, aren't you? Ready to blow up in your face, because there's a lot of mindset stuff here which really needs to address to give you the best opportunity to close, yeah? And if they said yes, that's weird, isn't it? Well, what action did you take? Yeah? Oh, yeah, it was great and it all worked. Well, why are we actually on this call? Don't be afraid to ask that. Yeah? Is there anything you would change then? Why are you looking about? Because otherwise that's going to be their soft out at the end of the call, right? Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Looking forward to speaking to you all again soon. I'm going to be in Spain next week, so you might get a post from me in the lovely sun just to rub it in if you're in the UK or something like that and the weather's terrible like it normally is. All right, guys, have a great day.